Below deck, Aerith and Tifa are still in their trooper uniforms, and they're whispering about boys.
I'm here if you want to talk.
They're whispering about boys, Ernest. Or at least they're starting to, and then Cloud and Barrett find them. And I personally wish the guys would have shown up a bit later, because I seriously wanted to hear it straight from the girls' mouth about how they manage their emotions about both having a crush on the same guy. But
why? So what I couldn't understand, and again, this may just be me being obtuse about this, but like that conversation started off with, I want to talk about business.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping we could talk business.
What kind of business?
You know, business.
And you got to remember that, like, the first thing I thought of is Remake, when the Avalanche subgroup or whatever you want to call it was all about business.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
So when she brings this up, I'm assuming she's talking about
you're taking it literally.
the business of Avalanche.
All
And then
right.
all of a sudden she's like, boys. And I'm like,
Boys.
really?
Boys.
Oh, that kind.
This is where you took this? So again, like,
You mean you didn't want the conversation to continue?
no, I wanted it to end right then and there. I was like, I don't want to hear this. Like,
Well, it did, so you're in luck.
but then it made me question, like, I didn't realize that this was considered business. Like, of course, it's probably like tongue-in-cheek business or whatever.
Well, yeah.
But it was just one of those where I was like, come on.
Like, this isn't business.
Had they just said like, oh, I want to talk about boys or whatever, granted, I wouldn't have wanted to hear it, but that would have been like different. But the way she came at it from like, I want to talk about business, I thought it was something serious. Then it went into that.
Yeah, it's so true. But when does Aerith ever talk about actual business? Like,
Yeah.
she's all emotion and heart.
Exactly. So although it probably would have been funny to hear the whole like,
Like, she starts going into like tactical execution strategy.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
like, yeah, Aerith.
so here's how we're going to off Rufus. Oh man, I would have loved that. But like, no, it's
No, they're talking about boys.
luckily it got interrupted and then we move on.
Yeah. I don't really know what the point of that moment was, because they don't really get back to that.
Well, they didn't do anything exactly.
Yeah.
Like right before that little snippet kind of comes to a close, she says something like, we'll put this talk on hiatus or,
Meeting adjourned for now.
and I was like, okay. And then
I don't know that they actually do that.
they never did, at least not for this chapter.
So I guess
Maybe later.
I'm trying to think of like what the point of this dialogue would be from a writing perspective. And I guess the only thing I can think of without remembering if they actually have that conversation is that the writers want us to know that they want to talk about this subject with each other, but they just don't get a chance to. So
Yeah.
there's some value for us to know that these two girls want to talk boys.
That they want to keep it on our mind.
Right. They want to keep it on our mind, and they want us to be curious about it. And they want us to look forward to when they actually do get to have that conversation. Those are probably the reasons for this little exchange, because like it doesn't really go anywhere, at least in the chapter after that. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
The group actually changes the subject to Rufus. So they do get to business. So lucky you.
The other thing I loved about it is where like they get super quiet, right? Because they hear someone walking and then Cloud's coming in, right? And then he just kind of stops. And then he's like, it's me.
It's me.
And then I was like, wow, what a line. Like it couldn't have been like, hey, it's just me, Cloud, or, you know, whatever. It's just like literally two words.
It's me.
It's me. Like that. And I'm like,
You make it sound like a horror movie.
No, but the way he said it wasn't not like horror. It was more like, I'm gracing you with my presence. It's me.
Oh,
you know, kind of thing.
Well, they kind of feel that way though, because they want to talk boys, and who's the boy they want to talk about? They want to talk about Cloud, and there he is.
Exactly. He's right there. So the way he said it, it was like, it's me. I'm like, wow, that was a hell of a line to deliver as flat as you possibly could. But that was, you know, pretty funny. So whether it was the writing or just the delivery, it just like this whole thing felt just very awkward. And maybe that was the point,
Oh, totally.
because it's a love triangle. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes they're awkward on purpose, and sometimes this game is awkward not on purpose.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to know for sure exactly what they're going
Yeah.
for.
And then every time Cloud walks into one of these situations and they're like kind of having a little inside joke moment, he's like, huh? Like completely oblivious to what's going on. He did it right here too.
Yeah, they always make him like
Yeah.
totally oblivious.
We can ditch the uniforms.
Aw. Well, it's been an honor, Captain.
Captain.